Good evening, everyone, and thank you once again for joining us at the Blue Lotus Meditation and Mindfulness Center for our bi-weekly guided meditation and Dharma talk. We understand that your time is precious and that this time is really used for recentering and balancing and learning about the Dharma and how we can apply the Dharma in our daily lives to make our lives much more fulfilling and meaningful towards not only ourselves, but our brothers and sisters that we encounter every single day. And even to the ones that we don't encounter, but that we are just connected to by being alive, by being a part of this earth. So I thank you for your generous presence today. So today is January 23rd, 2023, and it is now about 6 o'clock or so, 6:01 p.m. in the Central Time Zone, at least where I am, right? It's going to be different where you are if you're in a different time zone, or perhaps you're watching this on a delay someplace else. Nonetheless, welcome. Tonight's talk will be celebrating the unity that we all share, that we all have in common on this planet. Very often we are taught that we are separate, we are individual, that we're not important to where we are, right? To what we do, that we're kind of just on our own. And to some degree, there may be some truth to that, but in the reality, we're all connected, and we all have a unifying grace and presence around us. And before we begin, we'll start off with our wonderful guided meditation on judging others. Because during January, right, for Dr. Martin Luther King Day, we talk about unity and strength in unity and celebrating the diversity that we all share. And so very often when it comes time to judging, we look away from those characteristics that we all share, and we focus on very minor differences between us. So we'll take a nice guided meditation journey on stopping how to judge others. So go ahead and get yourself into a nice, wonderful, comfortable position, whatever works best for you. You may close your eyes, or perhaps you like to keep them slightly open with a soft focus, just looking downward a few feet in front of you. Perhaps you like to sit in a lotus or a half lotus. You may even prefer lying on your back, and that's okay too. Go ahead and breathe in. Pause. And slowly exhale, noticing any sensations that you feel in your inhale, or perhaps even your exhale as well. And as you lie there or sit there, you are warmly invited to allow that half smile to rest upon your face. Allow your spine to lift and your shoulders to soften, not too rigid, but a nice upright position if you're sitting. Soften your belly as well as you continue settling in. Breathe in. Pause. Slowly exhale, either through your nostrils or through your mouth is fine. We'll meditate on releasing judgment of others. And recall a time when you made a judgment of someone else. Could be someone you know casually, or someone you know pretty well. Perhaps it's even someone you don't even know. Someone you just happen to observe walking someplace, maybe. Maybe it was some water cooler talk. Maybe it was a news report. Maybe even a social media post. Important thing to recall is what you thought of this person. Were those thoughts kind and uplifting? Or were they negative and sarcastic? Were they hurtful? Doesn't even matter if that person hurt you or not. You made an assumption, a judgment, without knowing all of the circumstances involved. Breathe in. Pause. Slowly exhale again. Now, recall a time when someone made a judgment about you. Maybe you left work a little early to attend to a doctor's appointment. Maybe you went to care for an ill relative or a loved one. Maybe you went to your child's sporting event. Think about how you felt when you heard what others were saying about you. And were those comments hurtful and untrue? Were these people aware of why you had to leave early for that appointment, for that event? Probably not. Judgment was made based on an unknown reason or assumptions. Breathe in. Pause. Slowly exhale again. Judgment is the opposite of the beauty we all have within. Judgment removes curiosity. Judgment removes compassion. Judgment removes empathy. When we recognize that a negative judgment is beginning to arise within our minds, instead of the haste we initially allow, instead, allow curiosity to bloom. We allow compassion to grow. And we invite empathy within. Breathe in. Pause. Slowly exhale. Go ahead and begin to open your eyes slowly and reorientate yourselves to your surroundings before you move around or decide to stand up, or if you're sitting up. Go ahead and take a moment. When we judge something, or someone, we reduce them to a very narrow band of what it truly means to be that person. Just like when you have been judged, reducing you to just a thought, a whimsical thought, a thought that's not based on much, without truly understanding what a person is. If we think about what is a body, right? This is what we're looking at. This is what a lot of where our judgment originates from. And a body is truly nothing more than a collection of bones and skin and organs and blood, ligaments, viscera, and water. Right? Simply put, a body is just a collection of living cells, living organisms performing a specific function just to keep you in the state you're in right now. Just to keep the body alive. We have machines that can keep a body alive without any conscious thought. Right? And although your cells are living, and they certainly are, they're not you. right? They're not what makes you, you. And the body is simply a vessel, right? And like any vessel that we can think of, they come in all different shapes and sizes and colors. Some with handles, some not. Some are made from clay. Some are made from plastic or wood even. Maybe even glass. Maybe you even have a leather pouch, right, for water or for liquids. It's just a vessel, right? In any vessel it's simply nothing more than a container to transport something, right? Something that is precious, right? To store something safely inside its confines. But in our bodies, the precious cargo that is being transported is you. It's your consciousness. It's your being. And so that's all a body is. It's just an exterior, a shell for a spiritual being that we all are. And although you inhabit this body, right, you take the shape of this body, much like, tea or water sits inside a cup, a teacup, or a green cup over here, right? It just takes that form, right? When you drink the tea or you drink the water goes into you. It takes its form inside of you. But if we chip that cup, or perhaps break a handle, right? It's still that cup, right? With a chip in it, or without a handle, it's still that cup. It can hold that tea, that liquid. Much like if you were to get a haircut or go bald, right? You're still you, right? We can lose, something on the outside and still be us because it's all superficial, right? So why do we judge these vessels that we see? In fact, we judge 8 billion of them, right? That's how many people are on this planet. And although we may not directly encounter all 8 billion of them, we make overgeneralizations, oversimplify a condition that someone may be experiencing. And a lot of those judgments are very superficial, right? Such as skin color, or ethnicity, or biological sex, male or female, or even sometimes minor qualities of good and evil. A lot of times that is perspective. Kind or stingy, ugly or attractive, gay or straight, any other number of qualities. We judge people. Some of it may be evolutionary or biological. Absolutely. There may be some to that. People have a positive biological response to something warm and fuzzy like a puppy or a kitten. Absolutely. And maybe even an aversion to reptiles or something. Right? Some of those factors can be biological, but most often it's not. Right? Most of our tastes or our assumptions or our judgments have been taught to us by where we live. And we are an indoctrinated culture wherever we live to know what is acceptable in that culture as what is likable, what is not. And again, most of those are superficial qualities. Broad shoulders and a square jaw, right? And a male in European society may symbolize safety and security, right? But maybe not so much in an Asian culture. So those qualities that we see or are taught to judge is almost akin to tribalism. Right? And tribalism in modern societies is hurtful. Right? It's damaging to that society. Right? And it's not just damaging to that other person that you are making a judgment on or has a judgment inflicted upon them, but it is also harmful to you, to the individual. Remember, when we make a judgment, we are removing curiosity. We are removing empathy and compassion. Because they're not like us. Because they may be looking slightly different than we are. They don't necessarily fit into our tribe. So, tribalism can be very dangerous. We're not in those societies any longer where we have to run from a saber-toothed cat or a cave bear. We don't have to live in a society in that construct. But when we alter our perspectives, right, to understand what it really means to be you, right, think about what makes you, you. Because what makes you, you, makes them as well. And it's no different than a you. What makes you, you. So when we open our minds, we actually become more unified, right? Open. And we embrace mindful understanding, compassion, empathy. We invite in that understanding that whatever emotions what we are capable of, this other person is capable of them too. Perhaps they just express it slightly different. But love is love, right? The singular difference between, being these vessels, it's just the shape of that vessel, right? Maybe it's the culture to some degree, right? But a heterosexual couple's love is no different than a gay or a lesbian's couple. Their love, the feelings of security and acceptance that they feel, not a lick of difference between anyone else. Or when a female from Egypt feels joy, right? That joyfulness that she feels is no different, no less than a little Hispanic boy from Costa Rica. Joyfulness is joyfulness wherever we feel it, whomever feels it, and wherever they feel it. Doesn't matter. Or when an African American male experiences fear during a traffic stop, that fearfulness is just as real. It can be just as debilitating as a Caucasian male in a war. Those emotions that we all feel are a common thread between all of us. And what we see on the surface is just superficial differences that truly amount to nothing. Our you is inside of this vessel. But when we embrace and diligently practice our mindfulness, and although we are going to see these exterior differences, right? We can see them, and that's okay. But we can validate each and every person's life experience as it relates to us. We understand that every emotion that they have felt, we too have felt. And when we are truthful with ourselves, that we don't like to experience fear or pain, inadequacy, uncertainty, disappointment, anxiety, separation, irrelevance, disenfranchisement. How can we inflict those conditions on others? Because when we do, that's in essence going back to tribalism, hurting someone else because they may be different on the exterior. And to begin ending those hurtful thoughts and that tribalistic conditionings that we've been taught, those harmful divisive thoughts and violent actions, we simply return home to our breath. And we may begin with our in-breaths. I see the pain that my brothers and sisters experience. And then with an out-breath, I walk with compassion in unity with all living beings, as we are all brothers and sisters. And we can be. We could all be loving and supportive of one another. Something to think about as we go throughout our days, understanding when our judgments arise, when we see something that maybe strikes us a little bit differently. Instead of being judgmental, approach it with curiosity, compassion, and empathy. And that is a way that we can all develop unity. So our next Dharma talk, February 6th, same time, right? 6 p.m. Central Time. We love it when you come and sit with us and experience, or maybe even solidify and strengthen nice thoughts and warm development and nurturing behaviors, and perhaps even a new perspective on what you may see or experience in your daily lives. We also offer our weekly sanghas, our healing sanghas, our veteran sanghas, new beginning sanghas, rainbow sanghas, and teen sanghas, all throughout the week. Everything is just come in, come sit with us. You might even make some new friends. Find that unity, that strength, that compassion, and the self-realization with us. Visit us right on our registration page. Just click on the link and just come on in. And also, and then our June 7th, our Cambodian mindfulness retreat. I'll be spending 9 days out there, looking around and doing mindfulness and meditation. Also some touristy things as well, right? Visiting Angkor Wat and some shopping and shows and so forth. So registration is open for that. So please check that out as well and feel free to join us. And if you do find all of our content uplifting and positive and supportive, please feel free to subscribe to our newsletters or to our YouTube channel here, or just drop in whenever you like. And with that, my dear brothers and sisters, I wish you all an evening of peace, ease, and well-being.